All right, my friends. Oh man, have we had a very interesting past 48 hours in markets. This video, I want you guys to really, sit with me for this one because I'm going to break down basically what has really transpired. It's Thursday morning right now. U.S. session it's not even close to getting started. I'm in the office early today. All right, but Wednesday, massive up move. Okay, on the S&P 500, something that we mentioned 2 days ago that we wanted to see. Here was the piece where we basically said, hey, Trump hacked COVID. All right, he basically wanted to, in some capacity, start to get a little bit more optimism in the economy. We knew that would drive, the equities. And that's exactly what we got. We had a lot of naysayers, though. We had a lot of people come in who frantically and with a bunch of, crying, laughing faces mentioned how we were horrifically wrong in the trade because on Tuesday, all right, Trump mentioned that there's not going to be a stimulus deal. All right. And so if you guys take a look here real quick, we're again hopping right into it, folks. Guys, take a look at what happened. All right. So I put out the piece where we were like, hey, the S&P looks like a solid buy. I put out that piece as it was happening. So as this massive sell side move was happening, I put that piece of content out. Here's some of the headlines that basically came out. Okay. Trump did not want to do a stimulus bill. As that happened, we had people that ran to the comment section to basically talk about how wrong I was. What am I even doing? I should have watched the news before I pushed out that video piece. I did watch the news, and I still wanted to push it out because I wasn't scared by the volatility. Okay, guys, I replied back to those comments, and I said, look, new traders are oftentimes freaked out by the intraday ebb and flows of markets. But if you have an idea, you should not let that affect you, okay? In so many words, that's what I said. I'm paraphrasing a bit. I might have been a little bit more direct, all right? But those traders, again, they're more or less new to the business. So, of course, they get startled and freaked out when Trump tweets out something random, as he did yesterday. But I've been watching Trump every day since he has been elected, and I've been seeing how he can say one thing, drive markets one direction, and then say something else and drive markets in an entirely different direction. Okay, and that's exactly what happened, guys. We had a massive sell side move, but it wasn't sustainable because not even, 24 hours later, he U-turned on that whole deal. And he mentioned to Nancy Pelosi, I will sign a bill right now. Guys, look at what that did to our S&P 500. I'm going to roll the clip real quick of when I mentioned that would be something we will want to see. What we're going to see here is an up move. The reason we're going to get that up move is because there's going to be evangelists, there's going to be optimists that say, hey, look, the economy is going to get stronger. There are going to be people who see strength in Trump getting better, meaning that there might be some optimists starting to buy some stocks, which is going to push our S&P higher. Okay, so again, look at what that did to the S&P 500. We came back down into this structure. This is a 4-hour, by the way. And this is our E-mini S&P. Never got exposed over there on the options. Where I did get exposure, though, was here on the Euro USD. All right, because we mentioned what our team wanted to do. Okay, at the 340 mark, you guys can go back and watch that video. What we wanted to see was an actual buy on the dollar. We wanted to have the dollar actually buy and bounce off of this structure here. Okay, I'll run the clip real quick so you guys can get a little bit more context of that specific trade. What is our team doing? We would like to catch a bounce on this base and see markets push back up. I mean, it's just from a technical point of view, it's a pretty good opportunity. I like the minimal downside risk. So it's a pretty picture, but we can't fight the Fed. So I mentioned again, I like the risk reward. The risk reward looked pretty good. All right, I figured that, hey, look, if I don't really get a hold here at the high of this consolidation, we're not going to really be in the trade. But markets held, they pushed to the upside, and we got some exposure in, which basically pushed our Euro USD sell side. Okay, and so right now for us, what are we looking for? Well, if we could see markets pull back down, we got a test of where we really wanted to see markets run, but it'd be amazing if we could see markets run really to the $1.16 highs. That would just give us an opportunity to, have a pretty sizable move, maybe somewhere around 120 pips. Right now we're up somewhere around 60. So traders, you always want to have your bias confirmed, no matter what's happening volatility wise. Okay, again, a lot of the traders on the channel got freaked out when Trump put out that there wasn't going to be a stimulus bill. One of the guys even said, no bueno, no good. Okay, but at the end of the day, complete reversal of the idea, and there might presumably be a bill that is passed somewhere between now and the end of the election. But who knows? It doesn't matter. A fundamental catalyst is nothing more than that. Trump mentioning that there was not going to be a stimulus bill was technically a catalyst in and of itself. But most catalysts don't have good sustainability. basically not many of them can have true momentum where they just continuously drive markets. You can see something like interest rate changes. When a country changes its interest rates, usually you'll start to see overall sentiment around that particular asset, around that particular currency, start to dwindle, because who wants to hold a currency that doesn't give you that much yield? All right, that's what we're facing with the dollar right now. Again, if we head over to the dollar index, we know that the dollar right now has a horrible interest rate, one of the lowest that it's ever had. All right, and we are fighting that. That is something that we are fighting, and it's something that does concern me with any kind of dollar buys. Okay, so that's why for us, this is probably just a quick grab and go. All right, we hope to see maybe a quick run back up. If we look at the dollar index now, we hope to see, again, if we want to go to that 16 high level, what that looks like for us on the on the Euro USD, what that looks like for us on the dollar index is probably potentially retesting almost the base of this high, not getting back to the high, but the base of the high. And a base of a high is basically the candlestick formation underneath, okay, where that high actually got to. So we'll see what happens in markets, guys, but overall, don't let volatility freak you out. A lot of new guys always let volatility spur them out of moves that they were actually correct on. Okay, and if some of those guys on the channel will listen a little bit, then they may be, as well as some of our members in the community, would have been long on the S&Ps or would have been short on the Euro USD, depending on your flavor. Okay, so at the end of the day, guys, be careful with volatility. All right, we're going to keep an eye out and see exactly what happens with this S&P move. Will we see sustainability in this S&P 500? You never know. You never know, obviously, if markets are going to be able to sustain this move and actually get to that target area that you guys can see I have drawn up here. This particular zone here is where I would like to see markets touch on the S&P 500. Yeah, it'd be great if markets run there, but even if they don't, then anyone that went long on those contracts, you know, again, might be at break even or stopped out with a small profit. But anybody that's played it on the actual currencies, they're doing quite well. They're up somewhere around 60 pips, and we just hope to see markets run down to the $1.16s, $1.16 highs, $1.17 lows. That will give us around 120 pip grab. All right, so we'll keep you guys updated with what's going on. Don't freak out over volatility, and don't criticize a trader who puts out information before it happens. You guys got to think. It's very easy to just say, this is what we did before it happened. So when you criticize somebody saying, hey, this is what I want to do, and this is what I hope to see happen in markets, that's a very rare occurrence here in the YouTube space for traders. Most of the time, again, they're saying, we made all this money in markets, and they're having some stupid ass thumbnail and kind of selling you on some bullshit idea. I'm telling you guys, hey, look, this is what we want to see, and you guys are going to basically be able to see what ends up working out. So the second you run to the comments and say, you're wrong, then guess what happens? It starts to behoove that trader to say, all right, then I'll just only start putting out my winning positions. Something that I've been against my entire career as a trader. If I'm putting out content, I just always want it to be transparent. Okay, so guys, if we put some stuff out on the channel, let's just see what happens. Let's not freak out the same day we put out the piece. Okay, and let's just see how it evolves. Not all trades work out. Okay, so if a trade doesn't work out on the channel, that's not a horrific thing. That just means that specific trade doesn't work out. If you attach your overall expertise to losing positions, that just means you're a new trader, because that means you can't lose a trade and just move on. You always want to learn something every time you lose a trade. That's not how this business works. The second you realize that not every trade has a lesson, and sometimes you just lose, and that's just the probabilistic nature of the business, you realize that losing trades aren't so bad. Losing trades are really meaning that you're only getting closer to winning trades if you actually have a profitable edge where you can continuously trade whatever currencies that you're looking for in markets. Okay, so don't freak out if we lose trades on the channel. That's a good thing. That means that we're actually trading a real strategy, and we can all see the variables as to how it could be affected by certain data, certain technicals, so on and so forth. All right, guys, so trade safe. All right, I hope to see you guys tomorrow here on the channel. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I forgot the whole intro. We'll do it again tomorrow. Doesn't matter. All right, I'll see you guys soon, man. Peace out.